Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It's the Weekend Roundup. You might remember a few years ago, Microsoft went on quite the acquisition binge, nabbing studios like Compulsion Games, Double Fine, In Exile, Ninja Theory, Obsidian, Playground Games, Undead Labs. They were spending money like drunken sailors. And of course, before that, they bought Mojang and Minecraft for $2.5 billion. Well, in an interview with GamesIndustry.biz, Xbox boss Phil Spencer talked about the process of integrating all those teams into Microsoft, and they're not done. Spencer said they're still going to keep acquiring companies. Specifically, Phil said, "We have really strong support from Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, and Amy Hood, the CFO, and there's been no signal at all that we should be slowing down, but just to go at a pace that is maintainable for us as a leadership team. We're always out there talking to people, but it has to be the right opportunity." Like, do you make video games? You do? Yep. Well, we're signing you up. Welcome to Microsoft. But it makes sense because exclusives were one of the big weak spots of the Xbox One, and you obviously need studios to make those exclusives. And with Game Pass, they're going to need a steady supply of content going into the next generation. Meanwhile, we're starting to see some actual games trickle out of these studios, or they're on the horizon. Bleeding Edge from Ninja Theory, Grounded from Obsidian, In Exile's Wasteland 3, and Psychonauts 2 from Double Fine. Spencer specifically mentioned Game Pass, saying that its portfolio and subscriber base continues to grow. He went on to say, "Last year was our biggest year ever on PC in terms of revenue as Xbox Game Studios. A lot of the business is doing really well, so we're always in the market for new opportunities with studios." So they are not going to slow down. Meanwhile, the studios who got acquired have spoken positively about the experience. Double Fine studio head Tim Schafer said that things have been almost exactly the same, just without the terror of going out of business all the time. Specifically, he said with Psychonauts 2, money was getting tight, so they had to start cutting stuff from the game. This was before they got acquired. He said, "We had to cut our boss fights. Now we're able to put those back in. Being able to complete the game in the way that it was meant to be was very important." Yeah, that makes sense. He said still though, they weren't looking to sell, but Microsoft changed their mind, especially when it came to their vision for Game Pass. He basically said with Game Pass, it wouldn't make sense to acquire us and then assign us a bunch of Forza DLC. That's not what you want from a studio like Double Fine, and Game Pass seems like a great opportunity to have a diversity of games, a plethora of unusual content. Would you say I have a plethora? Little Three Amigos joke for you guys. Not really a joke, that's just a line from Xbox's strategy, according to Xbox Studios boss Matt Booty, is to minimally integrate studios, basically meaning to let them stay as they are, just with more money now thanks to the parent company. That worked well when they acquired Mojang and has become the template for how they integrate studios going forward. As Booty put it, with Minecraft, it wasn't our place to steer a game that we had not created ourselves. It was a game that had this vibrant, thriving community. There was a studio culture and identity there. Mojang studio head Helen Chang said, "A lot of the times you see big companies buy smaller companies and it's easy to lose the magic of what you purchase," but she added it was important that they retained all the great talent within the studio and ensuring you're continuing to foster that creative spirit. Okay, but also to play devil's advocate here, of course they're all going to say that. Nobody's going to say, "Yeah, my current boss blows. That big wealthy boss that gobbled us up, he actually really sucks." I'm going to say that on the record, and I'm definitely not going to get fired. But like we've seen with Bungie and Activision and their split, a big corporation, I'm sorry, they're always going to have opinions and want to meddle if they're the ones fronting the money. Now, maybe Microsoft is unique here. I hope it is, but so far, everybody's definitely saying the right things. Oh, one more thing to add to this story. Speaking of Microsoft and acquisitions, there are reports out there that they are interested in buying Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, which is the games division that brought us, of course, the Batman Arkham series. And they got the same parent company we do, AT&T. No confirmation on that yet. They definitely aren't going to tell me one way or the other, but that would obviously be a very big get for Microsoft. All right, we're going to get to the rest of the news in just a second, but first, guys, let's talk about HBO Max. Also our parent company. We're both owned by AT&T. HBO Max, you've heard about it. It's the new streaming service from HBO, but man, there is so much content. I signed up for it. I watched a sweet documentary on solitary confinement in Supermax prisons. A little dark. It was really good. Caught up on a lot of DC stuff too that I hadn't seen. I hadn't seen Aquaman yet, so I got to watch that. It has just a crazy amount of content. Studio Ghibli stuff. Oh, guess what? They've got that all 21 films exclusive to HBO Max in the US. South Park, all 23 seasons exclusive to HBO Max in the US. It is way more content than I thought it would have, to be honest. If you're into anime, Death Note, Kill la Kill, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, so good. Justice League versus Teen Titans, it's on there. Batman Year One. So there's just a ton. Rick and Morty, The Boondocks. Just like, it's just an insane. Do you like Looney Tunes? Do you like Tom and Jerry? You just want to kick back, watch some old school Looney Tunes at the end of a busy day? I definitely do. It's great. HBO Max, you can sign up for a 7-day free trial. 7 days, you get a whole week of it for free. Even if you're like, I'm just going to watch a few things, then I'm going to cancel it. You can do that. Go to bit.ly/HBO Max Roundup, all lowercase. That's bit.ly/HBO Max Roundup. I didn't think I had room in my life for another streaming service. Turns out I do. It's great. All right. Thank you, HBO Max. Moving on. Let's talk, while we were on the subject of Microsoft and Xbox, now we have a date for their big gaming showcase later this month for the Xbox Series X. In a tweet, they announced that the presentation of first-party games is going to take place July 23rd at 9 a.m. Pacific time, bright and early. We've been looking forward to this one, especially since their previous showcase of third-party games for the Xbox Series X did not exactly set the world on fire. Okay, so what can we expect? Well, we already know we'll see Halo Infinite, which is probably going to take up a significant amount of time. Jeff Grubb over at VentureBeat says we could be getting the long-rumored new Fable game that Playground Games is reportedly working on. He also said we shouldn't expect anything from the 2-year-old studio The Initiative, which may or may not be working on a Perfect Dark reboot, maybe Age of Empires 4, which Studio World's Edge is working on, maybe Psychonauts 2, Wasteland 3 is scheduled to release in August, so maybe that. Pretty likely we'll get another look at Hellblade 2 and possibly a Forza game. Of course, we will get a Forza game. Lots of people have also wondered if we will get a look at Lockhart. That's the all-digital, cheaper version of the Xbox Series X. Grubb says he thinks it will get its own event, though, later in August. The group that previously criticized the pay of Activision's CEO now has a new target, EA. Ooh, that's a juicy target. The CtW Investment Group is asking EA shareholders to vote against letting the publisher have total say in how it compensates executives. They did almost the exact same thing with Activision. For EA, they specifically called out the bonuses that CFO Blake Jorgensen and CTO Kenneth Moss got despite layoffs last year and annual performance that didn't meet targets. In a letter to shareholders, they wrote, while shareholders have benefited from appreciation in the company's stock price over the long term, we believe these gains do not permit the company to indiscriminately pay its executives. So they went all the way back to 2017 and they pointed out that Jorgensen earned $10 million on top of his $6.5 million salary. Moss took home a bonus of $5.5 million for the year. Last year, the group said that both guys saw their bonuses double their annual salary. So yeah, talking pretty big money there. Must be nice. EA will be taking up the issue at its annual meeting next month. All right, we've known for a while now that the gaming industry is shifting more and more to digital purchases. Well, now one of the biggest publishers and developers has put some hard numbers to show how far it's gone. Capcom said at a recent shareholders meeting that 80% of its game sales are digital, and they're rising. The company said that while it ultimately depends on how our customers behave going forward, for the time being, we're promoting our own digital strategy with an objective of 90%. So I guess they want to go up to 90% sales, since there are some customers who prefer to own disc, those measly 10%. I'm one of those. That's a big jump from just last year when Capcom said digital was about 53% of their sales. The main factor they cited was the Monster Hunter World Iceborne expansion. That makes sense, but they don't think this is an anomaly. They said, we aim to continue expanding our business performance by maximizing the benefits of digital sales, which include being able to provide our content for both longer periods of time and throughout the world. And some good news to end on. Valve says they're no longer scared of making Half-Life games. All right, that is good news. And some in the company want to bring a Half-Life game to console consoles. That's according to a piece by Jeff Keighley called Half-Life Alyx Final Hours. It takes a look into the VR game's development. Alyx, of course, has gotten very good reviews since it released on VR earlier this year. Valve designer Phil Coase said that when it comes to the franchise, this ice has been broken. Now we're hoping to smash through the ice completely. We're not afraid of Half-Life no more. Not afraid of double negatives either, are you, Phil? A lot of the Half-Life Alyx team hopes they'll make a full-scale Half-Life game for more traditional platforms, so that is great news. All right, time for a 5-second review. Do they have a 4-way? Because if not, I'm not buying it. All right, let's talk about the games coming out next week, and we got some humdingers. First up, Death Stranding on PC. From the legendary game creator Hideo Kojima comes an all-new genre-defying experience. Sam Bridges must brave a world utterly transformed by the Death Stranding. Carry the disconnected remains of our future in his hands as he embarks on a journey to reconnect the shattered world one step at a time. It comes to Steam July 14th. Neon Abyss is a frantic roguelike action platform where you run and gun your way into the abyss as part of the Hades-formed Grim Squad. Featuring unlimited item synergies and a unique dungeon evolution system, each run diversifies the experience and every choice alters the rule set. Get ready to unleash hell. With each run, you'll be able to unlock new rooms, items, bosses, special rules, and even new endings. That means each dungeon is unique and expandable. It comes to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch July 14th. Rockets rule everything in Rocket Arena, an explosive 3v3 shooter where you're never out of the action. Master your hero's unique rockets and abilities to rule the arena and become a champion. Adapt your strategy with an ever-growing roster of diverse heroes with distinctive powers. Unearth new strategies and tactics based on your squad. Explore a wide variety of dynamic maps and discover the true depth of Rocket gameplay. It comes to PC, PS4, and Xbox One July 14th. Next up, Ooblets is a farming, creature collection, and town life game where you build up your farm, befriend townsfolk, grow ooblets, of course, and have dance-off. Grow crops on your farms and sell them in town. Build your team of ooblets, level them up, unlock new dance moves, style your character in a bunch of different outfits and accessories, explore and decorate your house from a dinky shack to a stately farmhouse. Get to know the townsfolk and befriend them if you'd like. It's coming to early access in PC, Xbox One, July 15th. Next up, Neversong. Upon waking up from a coma, Pete's girlfriend is nowhere to be found. Isn't that just how they are? Investigate the screams coming from the heart of Neverwood, that's probably your girlfriend, the increasingly bizarre behavior of the zombie grown-ups, and the strange truth about Pete's past in this hauntingly dreamlike fable. Join your quirky childhood pals and trusty pet bird on an adventure to discover the truth about your recent coma. He probably slipped and fell in the shower. It comes to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch July 16th. Radical Rabbit Stew is a hair-raising, H-A-R-E, clever, action arcade game featuring fast-paced whack-a-rabbit gameplay, scintillating puzzles, supersized boss fights, juicy pixel graphics, and a sizzling soundtrack, perfect for new players and 16-bit retro fans alike. It comes to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch July 16th. Next up is a big one, Ghosts of Tsushima. In the late 13th century, the Mongol Empire has laid waste to entire nations along their campaign to conquer the East. Tsushima Island is all that stands between mainland Japan and a massive Mongol invasion fleet led by the ruthless and cunning general Khotun Khan. As the island burns in the wake of the first wave of the assault, samurai warrior Jin Sakai stands as one of the last surviving members of his clan. He is resolved to do whatever it takes at any cost to protect his people and reclaim his throne. He must set aside the traditions that have shaped him as a warrior to forge a new path, the path of the ghost, and wage an unconventional war for the freedom of Tsushima. It comes to PS4 July 17th, and last but certainly not least, Paper Mario, the Origami King. The kingdom has been ravaged by an origami menace. Join Mario and his new partner, Olivia, as they battle evil folded soldiers, repair the damaged landscape, and try to free Princess Peach's castle from the clutches of King Ollie in this comedy-filled adventure. Mario and Luigi receive an invitation from Princess Peach to attend an origami festival and excitedly hurry to Toad Town. But something's amiss. After investigating the eerily empty town, this duo finds a fearsome and folded Princess Peach. Oh no, she's been turned into origami. We gotta save her. Battle the folded soldiers in ring-based battles that challenge challenge you to strategically line up enemies to maximize damage. Out of battle, Mario can use the arm-extending 1,000-fold arms ability in specific spots to interact with the landscape. Join Mario, Olivia, and their companions on a journey of laughter and emotion, thrills, and a whole lot of folding, 'cause it's origami. That's pretty much what you do. It comes to Switch July 17th. That's all the news we got for you this week, guys. Hope you're having a great week. We'll see you soon. Peace. Can't believe I did that.
Let's talk some more about the next-gen consoles. They're just around the corner after all. I see you peeking around Series X, and one might be even closer than we thought.
And there might be a reason that nobody's talking about prices yet for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Some people think that Microsoft and Sony are playing a high-stakes game of chicken, waiting to see who announces first. They are